Hello, friends. This is Sam Cheney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, March 5th, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this, Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. What do we got today? Crazy news, information overload. As always, it seems. Got a lot of news to get to. It's just me today for you, but I've compiled quite a bit of news to go over. First of all, happy Ash Wednesday to all the Catholics out there. I'm not Catholic myself. I do like the Catholics, though, honestly. Most of them, most of the time. I don't know about the Pope. We're praying for the Pope, too. He's still in bad condition. Pope Francis is unable to lead Ash Wednesday Mass as he's still in the hospital. The 88-year-old pontiff has been on quite a health journey, a roller coaster up and down. Yeah, one day they report that he's suffering from polymicrobial infection leading to bilateral pneumonia. They got him on some type of breathing machine. He's on a non-invasive mechanical ventilation machine that's put on high-flow oxygen therapy during the night. It's being reported here. How much longer we got the Pope? I don't know. So happy Ash Wednesday. Let me read to you, because I didn't really know. I don't know. They put the dirt on their forehead. I live with a lot of Mexicans around here. They're all Catholics, and they put that dirt on their forehead. I guess it's ashes, actually. On Ash Wednesday is a significant day in the Catholic liturgical calendar, marking the beginning of Lent, a 40-day period of penance, reflecting and fasting leading up to Easter Sunday. It typically falls in February or March. Fell in March this year, depending on the date of Easter. We just calculated based upon the lunar calendar. In 2025, today is Ash Wednesday. The name Ash Wednesday comes from the traditional practice of placing ashes on the foreheads of worshipers, often in the shape of a cross. These ashes are typically made of burning the palm branches used in the previous year's Palm Sunday celebrations. The priest or minister may say, "Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return." And that's from Genesis 3:19. Or repent and believe in the gospel. As the ashes are applied, this ritual serves as a reminder of human mortality, sinfulness, and the need for repentance. And it goes on, but I think that's a good summary of it. I did not know it was made from the burnt ashes of palm branches that were used in the previous year's Palm Sunday celebrations. What do we got today? We got the fallout from Trump's talk to Congress last night. We got Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman, says, "Stop being Putin's hoe" to Trump. That's classic, as is in the headline. We got the to and fro's again going out of the what's going on in the government. Supreme Court blocked Trump's block on funding of USAID. $2 billion. Got that to go over. Follow up about the LA arson fires. Now it's being blamed on the power company. Southern, what are they called? Edison. They're called Southern California Edison. They're being sued by LA County. Thought it was climate change. Isn't that interesting? A little public health news. I don't even know. Can we talk about it? I don't know. Probably not. Can we report on Florida governor proposes permanent mRNA mandate ban? Are we allowed to say that? We got what Trump declared last night. What did he say? Free speech is back. Free speech in America is back. Really? Have my doubts, Trump. Now, as long as these big tech companies are allowed to operate as monopolies, there is no free speech back in America. Simon's being censored today. We're going to play Simon's clip. He was able to make it on the George Galloway Moats program today. And he says as soon as he was done with his appearance there, he was summarily told on the old X that that he is an inauthentic account on the X. So censorship's alive and well, and it will continue to be as long as these monopolies are allowed to put up barriers to entry to the market and practice uncompetitive behavior. Then they're going to continue to skew things and censor and lie and cheat and steal, because that's what comes out of monopoly. We got rather shocking, but not really. Kind of still is, though, right? I thought UK was white people, but we all know white people are bad inherently. And so UK Parliament has passed a law today that stating that Muslims and minorities are to be given lesser prison sentences than white British people. And so we fully support that. Whiteys are bad. And yeah, they've created a two-tier racial discrimination system now in the UK. And we wouldn't have it any other way, of course, as we wind down that empire for the Great Reset for the new technocratic age. And so we do appreciate their reverse discrimination, racism against white people. And so maybe we'll be promoted if we say F you, Whitey, especially English UK white people. F you, go to jail for longer. What else do we got? We got a bunch about the military saber rattling, threats from China. U.S. threatens back. Looks like we thought we were going to have peace in Ukraine, Russia. Looks like Zelensky's done a 180, and so he's schizophrenic. He can't make up his mind. We need peace there so we can be monetized by Google till they come up with the next current thing and say that we can't be because we're talk about it. We got that. We got a bunch of aardvark news as always. It finally clicked in their genius aardvark brains that posting your war crimes on social media, it's probably not a good idea. It could be used and has been used as evidence against them in the International Criminal Court. I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I mean, I guess I'm against free speech, but I would advise my IDF war criminals not to be posting your crimes on the interwebs. So IDF's social media ban is way overdue. The Aardvark Post tells us. The IDF's new social media policy is a step in the right direction, but it must be part of a broader transformation in how aardvarks approach digital security. The Telegram, X2, you can go find it, but especially Telegram, they're bragging about the war crimes they're committing on there. So yeah, probably it only took them a year and a half to figure out that. Oh, and the indictments in the in the International Criminal Court. Yeah, maybe it's not a good idea to be posting your war crimes over there and bragging about it on the interwebs. I don't know. Call me crazy. It's obviously hateful. And what else do we got? We're going to go ahead and start a new trend today of playing Scott Armstrong's album as our closeout, because he promised that he won't claim copyright on me. And we're going to try to do a show, but it's almost impossible on Facebook, let me tell you, because like they hear the music playing in the background or whatever, and they claim copyright. So whatever, dude. I don't got time to even fight it over there. But we're going to close out, and we're going to play his whole album. We're going to play one song today to close us out. So we have that to look forward to as well. Let's get to this day in history. On this day of Ash Wednesday, not every March 3rd or March 5th, but this March 5th. Again, happy Ash Wednesday to those just joining the program. So on this day of March 5th, in the year 1588, smoking tobacco is introduced to Europe by Spanish physician Francisco Fernandez. And of course, as all good physicians would do, they would advise you to smoke tobacco. It probably was good tobacco back then, without all the chemicals that we see today. In the year 1770, we saw the Boston Massacre. In the Boston Massacre in 1770, British soldiers kill 5 men in a crowd throwing snowballs, stones, and sticks at them. African-American Crispus Attucks is the first to die and is later held up as an early black martyr. The Boston Massacre, or incident on King Street, galvanizes anti-British feeling. Well, the news today should give you some anti-British feeling as well, unless you're not white from the UK. Then you should cheer it on, I guess. Shocking level of discrimination there. In the year 1795, on this day, Treaty of Basel ends the Persian-French War. In 1824, the UK declares war on Burma. In 1842, over 500 Mexican troops invade Texas. In the year 1868, the stapler was patented in the UK. In the year 1872, triple train air brakes, or train brakes, were patented by George Westinghouse. Triple air brakes for trains. In 1904, Nikola Tesla describes the process of the ball lightning formation in Electrical World Engineer. In 1907, the first radio broadcast of a musical composition aired. In 1927, 1,000 U.S. Marines land in China to protect American property. In 1933, this is a big one. In 1933, on this day, FDR proclaims a 10-day bank holiday in an attempt to stem bank failures and restore confidence. It couldn't happen here. It would never happen here. It already happened. So if everything does start going sideways, if all these bubbles pop, or if they just decide to pull the plug, that is the international banking cartel, you can expect another bank holiday. And so it has happened in the past, and it probably will happen in the future. When, we don't know. But be prepared. Or just be an idiot. That's the American way, right? Just run around like an idiot, wearing a mask and screaming at Trump or whatever. That could work too for you. Also in 1933, the Nazi Party on this day won the majority in Parliament, getting 43.9% of the vote, or 17.2 million votes. Don't ever forget, the Nazi Party was voted into power. In 1945, the Allies, the good guys, right, bombed the Hague, Netherlands. In 1955, Elvis Presley makes his first TV appearance on a local Shreveport, Louisiana show called Louisiana Hayride. And in 1960, Elvis Presley leaves the Army after a 2-year commitment. And then fast forward all the way to today, computing's top prize, the Turing Award, is given to American researcher Andrew Bartow and Richard Sutton for their work on reinforcement learning, a cornerstone of AI technology. They won that award today, the Turing Award. And we do appreciate the fast march now to scientific dictatorship, technocracy. All right, there is no segue because we don't have a guest, so we'll just get right to the news for you. Here's, well, let's show this. I thought this was funny. I think we showed it yesterday, but, and people even commented, this probably hurts more than anything. Trump sucks at golf. I thought it was pretty funny. UK whites are viewed as cattle unless you point your arse west 5 times a day. Interesting, better. Maybe they can do that. Maybe they can do that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the YouTube chat and the other chats as well. Here's the story since I've been covering the LA arson fires. Now, Los Angeles County, Pasadena, Sierra Madre sue Southern California Edison, alleging its equipment triggered Eaton fire. And I remember that at the time. Nah, screw you. It's climate change. You're like, here's the lawsuit by LA County. And Newsom's like, nope, it's climate change. And the rest of the Democrat. And you show a Democrat from LA County the lawsuit, and they'll scream in your face, climate change is the level of absurdity we're at here now. By the way, it's raining here, too, in the Central Valley of California today. It doesn't rain much, but never-ending lies from the government. They'll tell you we're in a drought. And you're like, no, but it's raining. Look, all the reservoirs are full. And they're like, nope, we're in a drought. And so you show them this lawsuit claiming equipment failure, starting the Eaton fire, and they'll scream in your face it's climate change. And that's the level of absurdity that we're at here now. Lawsuit blames Southern California Edison's equipment for triggering the deadly blaze that cut a mammoth swath of damage through the unincorporated community of Altadena. And so, yeah, some 9,000 odd structures were destroyed, 17 people dead in that one section of Altamina. Who cares? It's climate change, right? Right. So we got arson arrests, we got lawsuits by the county. Doesn't matter. The lawsuit is seeking compensation for damage to the county's infrastructure, parks, recreational areas, and roads, as well as the cost of the huge cleanup and recovery efforts, flood and mudslide prevention, workers' compensation claims, overtime for county workers, and lost taxes. as well as other costs. And what's the end result of all this going to be if they wind up settling or being, or the court rules, however, they settle, the court rules, however, it may be ending up here. The end result is going to be that Southern California Edison passes on increased energy costs to the consumers and literally laughs in everyone's face, and they'll probably scream climate change too. And but hey, as long as the county's made whole, right, who neglected their duty the whole time, then everything's great. And the consumer winds up paying more, and they get to still all scream climate change. And so, isn't that a wonderful development in the arson fires of 2025, the Los Angeles version? Here, Ariana Grande, I'm not even big up on the celebrities, but she looks sucked up, like she's on strung out on cocaine, amphetamines, a Zimbic, I don't friggin' know, strung out on MK Ultra mind control. Here in this clip from the Oscars, she talks about how they did a memory wipe on her. So I know a lot of people get all up in arms about all the celebrities, but a lot of them are victims of mind control, trauma-based mind control. So realize that when you're critical of them, they are victims of this dark occult satanic machine as well. Let's watch this short clip where she talks about it. But everything's fine. Don't you worry about it. There's no mind control going on whatsoever.
Let's talk about music. You told me you're not going on tour anytime soon. Eternal Sunshine, you've said the deluxe edition is in the can. What's the next step? What do we got?
The next step is the next step. It means it must come out. You know, it's been...
Do you have a release date?
You know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic they do the memory erasure, you know?
What?
The memory erasure. They erase my memories. It's a little foggy, but...
If you could remember, struggle, tell me. Give me a date.
You know what? I'll have to go back to the clinic and see if they can restore my memory.
Is it going to be soon? Because the fans want to know, Ariana.
So soon... So, Mark, you have to learn the language of my fans because soon means 10 days or less. I'm not allowed to use that word at this moment.
So it's not less than 10 days?
I'm not going to use that word today. I'll say that. I love you. You're so naughty. What are you doing?
Because we want new music. So just give me a date. Give me a date. I won't tell anyone. I won't tell anyone.
You know, just keep your eyes peeled.
To your...
I can't wait to get new music from her. She looks like a strung out junkie. Not trying to be mean. She needs to gain some weight there. And she said she had her memory wiped. I don't know. Is she joking? I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, here's Trump from last night. Trump claims free speech in America is back. No, it isn't.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
If he starts going after all these big tech monopolies, I would believe them. They're not going to. They love the control. Free speech is back in America. Bullshit, Trump. Trump announces common sense revolution in address last night. Quote, common sense revolution. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. That's from the White House. Here you go. Really. Again, notice the fasciae here, right here, and here. And again, what in God we trust, what God are they talking about? I have a sneaking suspicion a lot of these characters are on Epstein list. It's been exposed. They're all, the very large majority are blackmailed and compromised of all of these clowns, Republicans, Democrats, independents, everybody in between, or they don't even let you into Congress. All right. They put on a show. Trump put on a show last night. Trump declared Biden the worst president ever. I'd have to argue with that about, I would have to say Woodrow Wilson is the worst president ever. Did the most damaging tyranny to America. He signed in the Federal Reserve Act. He signed in the individual income tax. He got us into World War I. Yeah, I'd have to say Woodrow Wilson is the worst ever. But Trump claims that Biden is the worst ever. And whatever happened to Biden anyway? We never see him now. Is he at the nursing home? Is he in the hospital with the Pope? Like, where is Biden now? He just vanished. Was it ever Biden? Was it a guy wearing a mask? A drone, a clone, a robot? Who knows? Who knows? But we never see Biden now. Right? Would they even tell us that Biden died? I don't know. It's like, Biden, whatever, dude. He was president, allegedly, for 4 years. I don't. Why didn't they have Biden give the reply to Trump's speech, or Kamala or something? Who the hell? Who is the Democrat leader? I don't know. Maybe Fetterman, huh? Okay, here is maybe this broad. She's pretty sassy. Jasmine Crockett, message for Trump after his address last night. Let's listen.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head famous. But second of all, if we could do a sequel, if you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
Wow. Is Trump Putin's hoe? Trump says the U.S. will acquire Greenland one way or another. Let's watch this. What does he mean by this?
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
We're going to get Greenland? I don't know. Maybe. Al Green got kicked out. Should we play Al Green? I don't know if you guys saw this. That's what Congressman Al Green forcibly removed for heckling Trump during his national address. Let's watch this. Old Al Green. He impeached Trump. I don't know. He tried to impeach Trump a bunch last time, I'm sure. I think he already tried again this time.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Go. Members are directed.
So yeah, cops should have beat the hell out of them. No, we need to bring back political duels so they could challenge each other like that, and that would be fair. What else did Trump say? I didn't see that going through the news, but I remember it. Is that the death penalty for killing a cop? I think he passed that executive order. That's pretty extreme. Fetterman calls out Democrats on protest strategy. U.S. Senator John Fetterman critiqued the Democrat Party's recent silent protest during Trump's speech, labeling it as unhinged and suggesting it inadvertently portrays Trump as more presidential. Remember they had those little signs? There you go. Save Medicaid, save the Ponzi scheme. We love effing you. Protect the veterans. They're pro-war. Musk steals. That's probably right, but the rest of them are bullshit. They had other signs too. Freaking clown world. Maxine Waters has suggested that Elon Musk might have used high technology to influence or hack the 2024 elections. Maybe he did. Let's watch this. I don't know. Does he? Maybe he did.
Turned it over to him. And we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done with his high technology ass. We don't know what he's been accused of by some as it may relate to the election. But we're not going to give up in investigating and finding it turned.
Did Elon Musk hack the election with his high technology? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe get rid of the electronic voting machines. That could solve your problems, Senator Maxine Waters, but God forbid we do that. U.S. Supreme Court upholds $2 billion U.S. AID funding in split decision. That ruling came down today from the Supreme Court. Trump's attempt to cancel nearly $2 billion in foreign USAID spending. Justices Barrett and Roberts were pivotal in the majority decision ordering the funds to be released. This ruling has sparked significant political discourse with dissent from Justices Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, who argued about the implications of this decision on the separation of powers. And so keep that fraud money flowing, man. And who was the, it was the redhead, what the heck's her name? She loves tyranny. Barrett, Coney Barrett. She loves tyranny. And so, yeah, she loves fraud. And she was the Republican that, quote, Republican. She's a big Catholic, too. Loves fraud. she voted with the Democrats on that to keep the. But apparently, it was. Apparently, it was. They have to complete the contracts already committed to go ahead and pay them out. Why? The whole thing's a giant fraud. So pay your taxes. Make sure you pay your taxes, because some corrupt piece of crap Supreme Court wants to do the right thing. Todd Blanche confirmed as Deputy Attorney General. Todd Blanche. So they're still confirming a bunch of people. So Todd Blanche of Florida is now Deputy Attorney General, confirmed today. Are they going to prosecute the monopolies? Are they going to release the Epstein files and the myriad of other files implicating the government in crimes? Not holding my breath. Are they ever going to arrest anybody in all the fraud, corruption, waste, and abuse that we've seen come out? And that's barely even scratching the surface. No one in government gets in trouble. Will they prosecute anyone for all the crimes they've committed against the American people? Not holding my breath. Elon Musk today met with Senate Republicans to discuss reducing the IRS workforce. During the meeting, which lasted over 90 minutes, Musk expressed openness to the GOP senators to push for a vote on IRS cuts. Are they, well, taxation's theft, right, Barry? It is on your individual income. That's for damn sure. Yeah, we need to go ahead and abolish the IRS. The IRS is reportedly planning to cut half its workforce, about 90,000 of 90,000. So cut it in half, what's that, 45,000? God forbid. God forbid, man. I'm sure a judge somewhere will block it. Speaker Johnson's chief of staff arrested for DUI after the speech. If I was his chief of staff, I'd be drunk too. I wouldn't drive. Don't drink and drive. But God, how can you be Christian Zionist Mike Johnson's chief of staff without being drunk? Well, you can't, because his chief of staff was drunk and arrested for drunk driving. Hayden Hayes, here he is. What a joker this guy looks like. Hayden Hayes, arrested for DUI last night after the president's speech. Time for a meme break here. The left's trying to meme, and that was the thumbnail for the show. But here's a mashup because they like making fun of J.D. Vance's appearance. And so here's a mashup of some left-wing memes making fun of J.D. Vance for a quick comic relief break.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the weird-ass jewelry, I'ma take 10 steps, then I'm taking off top off, take off the fabricated streams and the microwave memes, it's a real world outside, take off your idols, take off the runway, take off the Cairo.
And so that's all well and good to make fun of him, but they don't go after him for it's the wrong things. Again, making fun of his appearance, fine, whatever. Why don't you go after him for being a freaking protege of Peter Thiel? Why don't they go after him for that? They don't. They don't. They love the scientific dictatorship technocracy, apparently. They don't know? I don't know. But go after him for real things. Anyway, It's fun to make fun of J.D. Vance, vice president's appearance, I guess. The left loves it. Should go after him for real substantive issues, but what do I know? Here it is, Idiocracy. Literally, it is world wrestling, right? I actually like him with the long hair. Okay, back to the news. Andrew Tate, everybody's favorite red pill pimp, right? The alpha male of the internet. This is a funny post right here. I'm going to read it to you because now he's under investigation in Florida after fleeing Romania. And Andrew Tate says, Ron DeSantis is attacking me because he is worried I would support Byron Donalds over his wife, knowing I have monumental political weight and trust our commander-in-chief, President Trump's recommendations completely. They attacked me to prevent me from destroying his wife's political ambitions. Interestingly, I had no interest in Florida politics until I learned how communist the DeSantis administration is. That is game on. And then he got community note checked, and they say, in response to Andrew Tate, Byron Donalds has announced he supports Ron DeSantis and Florida's investigation into the Tate brothers. This friggin' guy. It's a man's man, let me tell you. It's a man's man there, Andrew Tate. Continuing. Can we even report this? God forbid. God forbid our miracle gets any bad down talk about it. Florida Governor DeSantis, aforementioned, going after Tate brothers. Florida Governor proposes permanent mRNA mandate ban. Let's play a clip from him about it. Probably get censored because God forbid you talk bad about mRNA.
And I don't know why it happened at the time. It wasn't something that I was pushing, but they put in there a sunset provision. And so in June, the protections that you have against these mRNA mandates, being a Floridian, those protections will expire unless the legislature acts to make them permanent. So I'm here as governor endorsing making these protections permanent. You should not be forced to take an mRNA shot against your will. And that should be the right of every Floridian. This will also, if the sunset happens, it will also allow schools and higher ed to be able to institute some of these mRNA mandates. Now, most schools by now, people have been upset about it, so a lot of them have not done it. Now, Florida, we said you couldn't do it from the beginning. Most schools were doing it back in 2021. Now fewer are doing it, but you know, you never know with how these folks do. And then, of course, government entities and the businesses, you need protection for that as well. You know, I'd be talking to like these firefighters. Yeah, these guys have been like on the front lines, like, and during COVID, they were doing things to help people. Many of them got exposed. That's just part of the job. They did it. And they didn't want to take mRNA. And so they were going to lose their job. It was like a big contest, I remember, for some of these. We of course, did the law, which was good. But leading up to that, there was a lot of people that were really concerned about what could happen. And it rattled a lot of folks because it's like, you know, you work hard, you do all this, and then what? They're just going to cast you aside just because you had a disagreement on whether this was the right thing to do for you. And so we're really glad that we did that, but we got to make that permanent. I mean, we cannot allow those protections to evaporate. I don't know what would happen immediately if they evaporated. I don't know what the mindset is in some of these areas, but I think what we saw during COVID is things can hit the fan very quickly and people can lose rationality very quickly. And that's what a lot of this stuff what was based on. Some of it was a power trip, some of it was based out of fear, but some of it I just think it wasn't grounded in sound logic and evidence, and that's why we had some of the things that we had. You actually, this is just floors me. So
we'll get a strike for playing that? Probably. God forbid. Criticize their God. What are they saying there in the chat? They say, didn't Tate turn muzzy after being charged? I think he did. I don't know if it was after being charged, but he did turn muzzy. He found God, don't you know? Trump pledges. This was during his, well, let's play it. We're allowed to play this? And don't ever question what's causing autism either. God forbid you question that. We've covered it extensively on Weaponized News. We know exactly what's causing it.
Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
It's already been figured out. I interviewed Ginger Taylor like over 10 years ago. She documented, I forget even, over 50 scientific studies that it's already been proven. It's very well documented, but let's keep playing stupid. Let's keep playing stupid. And so, yeah, autism has risen from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 36 in boys, and it hits black boys even worse. So Doge, or EGOD, spelled backwards, right? Doge yesterday, NIH canceled 7 grants for transgender experiments on animals, including $532,000 to use a mouse model to investigate the effects of cross-sex testosterone treatment. $33,000 to test feminizing hormone therapy in a male rat. I think it's well worth that investment. Of course it is. What we've been calling for? Let's watch this. What's her name again, Ruckus? Are you still there? Anna Paulina Luna, APL, I guess, right? APL? Anna Paulina Luna sends criminal referrals to Pam Bondi on all 4 sanctuary city mayors. Will somebody in the government ever get in trouble for anything? I don't know.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, sorry, one second, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrant?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people, and that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
Would you yield your last?
They're all bad people. She's a bad person. They're all bad people. This government is inherently evil and immoral. So Trump points at Democrats while criticizing border policies. This is our border section. Let's watch this. The deportations are nowhere near what they need to be.
But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
$21 million, he says. It's double it, say 42 million. U.S. implements visa ban on foreign officials facilitating illegal entry. The U.S. State Department announced a new visa restriction policy targeting foreign government officials believed to be facilitating illegal immigration into the United States. The policy reflects an effort to strengthen border security measures and could impact diplomatic relations with countries involved in migratory routes. Aren't they assisting in the smuggling process as part of the giant human trafficking program that's going on here? Little Marco trying to do something, I guess. State Department, led by the Secretary of State, Little Marco Rubio. More immigration news here. VP Vance tours the southern border. Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, visited the border at the southern border at Eagle Pass, Texas today. We have video of it? I think we have video. There's some video of it.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and I appreciate you being here. It's great to be here. It's great to talk to some of the incredible people that we have, both at the local level, the Texas state level, and also, of course, our federal border patrol, who are doing so many good things to keep us safe. And I have some bad news and some good news. And the bad news is that because of what Joe Biden did at the southern border for 4 years, we had record increases in migrant crime, in fentanyl deaths, and in just floods and floods of people who shouldn't be in our country who came into the United States of America. We also have a number of ways in which the cartels became more advanced better warfighters because Joe Biden opened up the American southern border and allowed the cartels to turn it into their playground. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is, as President Trump said last night at the State of the Union, it turns out we didn't need new laws. We didn't need fancy legislation. We just needed a new president of the United States, and thank God that's exactly what we have. And I will say that the most heartening message that I take away from my visit here at the Texas border is the number of Border Patrol agents who have come up to me and said thank you, or said because of this, we've cut the number of border crossings from 1,500 a day to 30 a day. Or the people who have come up and said we've seen a reduction in 85% of the number of people who are dying at the American southern border. And every single day that we continue to keep this border safe, that means less migrant crime, that means less fentanyl coming into our communities, that means more safety and security for the people of the United States of America. And of course, we know the border problem, the border crisis under Biden's administration was a national crisis, but it acutely affected the communities right here. And I've already heard heartbreaking stories of people who are still picking up the pieces, local mayors who are still dealing with the budgetary consequences of what the Joe Biden administration allowed to happen at the American southern border. And that, too, is something that President Trump is going to help address, help fix, and help solve. Now, I wanted to bring Secretary Hegseth and Director Gabbard at DNI down here because, one, I obviously enjoy their company, and it's good to have them down here with me looking around today. But unfortunately, we know that because of what's happened, the border crisis has become a matter of national intelligence, and it's also become something that requires the Department of Defense to engage with. I was talking with Paul Perez earlier. The drone technology that the cartels are using requires, unfortunately, a military response and military support. So it was important for Secretary Hegseth to see what's going on because we know that the millions and millions of people who were let in over the last 4 years, many of them are connected to foreign terrorists. It's important for our leader of national intelligence to get a sense of what's here on the ground. So before we take questions from the press, and all of us are willing to take questions, I want to give Secretary Hegseth and then Director Gabbard an opportunity to say a few words themselves.
I miss Kamala Harris, our borders are. Why doesn't anyone get in trouble for what they allowed to go on there? Treason against America? Frustrations grow inside the White House over pace of deportations, the New York Times tells us. President Trump's promise to launch the largest deportation operation in U.S. history is colliding with the practical difficulties of detaining people and transporting them across the globe. And so we're seeing a large price tag as we're trying to cut government spending. It costs a lot to fly these people out of here. U.S. suspends costly deportation flights using military aircraft. Wall Street Journal tells us Trump administration had used C-17s to fly illegal aliens abroad and to Guantanamo Bay. Oh man, it gave me the old subscription. I was going to read the cost here. Anyway, I hate when they do that. You open it and then you can read it and then they put the subscription on there. Anyway, it costs a lot. Maybe it was here. Pretty sure it was at Wall Street. Okay, this one has the cost too. So the Defense Department calculates the cost per flight to operate a C-130 at $20,756. So for a trip of 5 to 6 hours, it costs the Pentagon $207,000 to $249,000 round trip, or $23,000 to $27,000 per detainee to fly them to Guantanamo Bay. It's quite a hefty price tag here on flying these illegal aliens out of the country. ICE estimates The average cost of one of the regular charter flights at $8,577 per hour, and the cost for special high-risk charter flights at anywhere from between $6,929 and $26,795 per hour, as high-risk flights need special security personnel and also medical professionals on board. So we're way behind. We're way behind. The flying them out is just not, it's not feasible. It's not feasible to do so because it costs too much. And so, yeah, we're way behind here on the promise for the biggest deportation operation in American history. Failure by Trump. Can't afford to do so. You would think they would have figured out the math on the cost before, but seems like it was a lie the entire time. We're going to hold them to it. Probably get reported for being critical of ICE. You guys aren't doing, you're not deporting enough people fast enough to get it done in 4 years. And that's the math, that's the loose math on it. You need to, they need to be deporting 10,000 people a day, every day for the next 4 years. And that's still not going to do the full job. And we're not even close. Obama library lease terminated. Speculation abounds. Social media is abuzz with reports on a lease termination at the Obama Presidential Library site, Barry Soetoro site. While some posts attribute the action to Elon Musk's Doge, the facts regarding who initiated the lease termination, the reasons behind it, or any official statement from parties involved have not been confirmed. Internet speculation and rumors abound. So, yeah, what are we going to do if we don't have, yeah, they say all the MAGAs, they say Doge terminates lease at Obama Presidential Library. Yeah, we don't know that. Don't spread fake news, unconfirmed news out there, MAGA, but all these big MAGA accounts love it. So we're still waiting here at Weaponized News for full confirmation and details surrounding the termination of the Obama Barry Soetoro Presidential Library lease. I know, it makes me sad too. Remember this? They caught Obama putting fake tears in his eyes. Remember that? I forget even what it was about, but just beyond ridiculously stupid. Yeah, the halftime. Thank you, Barry, for the reminder. The halftime today is, go to Weaponized News. I know I got a brand new shiny one here. My old one was kind of tore up. That was the demo model, but go to weaponizednews.com and get some stickers. We got the holograph sticker for Pride Month. You can see right there. We have the clear one. We have the clear one. You can see there. And we have a one with a white background. You can support Weaponized News, get some stickers, spread them around, put them on your laptop, your guitar. I think it's Nexus, put it on his guitar. Looked pretty nice. He got a clear one, put it on his white guitar. Looked really nice. So we got 3 different styles over there at Weaponized News /shop. You can help us out that way. Or you can, I guess we're still continuing the campaign. I don't know. It's so lame now that I'm hung up on Google AdSense due to monopolistic business practices being waged against me. But I guess we'll continue the campaign. Go to, everybody on the other channels, go to Weaponized News YouTube channel and subscribe there. We did get some more subscribers today from Simon's appearance on George Galloway's show. Thank you to new listeners on YouTube for subscribing. We're at 566 now as we march toward 1,000 on the YouTube. And we still need the hours viewed. I don't even know what it is because look, if I'm hung up here now, I'll show you guys again in the interest of transparency. I go to your little urn over here, monetization tab. Look, I'm hung up right here. Set up Google AdSense, error. Fix in Google AdSense. Well, turns out, and again, I know it's a hard concept to grasp for YouTube, Google, Alphabet, DARPA. I know it's a hard concept for them to grasp, but here at Weaponized News, we're anti-war. We're against all the wars, all the time. So we're against Russia, we're against Ukraine, and everybody else in between that wants to shoot at each other and kill each other. So we're anti-war, and that's just not acceptable to DARPA, Alphabet. And so they say, due to the war in Ukraine, we'll pause monetization of content that exploits, dismisses, or condones the war. We haven't exploited it. I don't play any war porn on here whatsoever. Barely any. Right? You can find gore, war porn all over the interwebs. Shocking footage from Gaza to Ukraine to every other little war in between. People's arms, legs blowing off, all this. It's horrific. So we don't exploit it. We don't dismiss it. We say it's freaking horrible. Stop it. And we obviously don't condone it. And you can't even talk to anybody about it. They say don't even reply. That's just the way it is. Well, that is the way it is when you're dealing with a monopoly. But maybe until the next current thing runs afoul of Google AdSense, maybe someday they'll want to do business with me. Go to Weaponized News YouTube channel here, subscribe, and help us reach the 4,000 hour threshold of viewing. Scroll to the bottom. We made it easy for you here with 12 documentaries about the new world order from the Russian and Chinese perspectives. We have a BRICS documentary there. We have the new nuclear doctrine from Russia and China. We've documented the, scrolled off the page there, we've documented the Aardvark genocide there from the UN. Albanese, her report about it. The Kazan Declaration there at BRICS, and other documentaries as we enter the new world order in a new era of multipolarity. And so simply push play, mute, and walk away and help us get these viewing hours to reach 4,000 or get educated up on the new world order in 2025. Continuing here, back to this again. I know it makes me sad, that censorship. But Trump said free speech is back in America. Makes me sad too, Barry. Where are we at here? We're on the economic news? Economic news. U.S. Representative Tim Burchett has suggested the existence of a paper trail indicating the funds sent overseas have returned to some Washington, D.C. lawmakers. They told us constantly, was it Newland and others, Lindsey Graham? They told us that, hey, don't worry about all that funding for Ukraine. It's all coming back to the munitions makers here. It's all good. American jobs to fund the war effort over there. Right? They've told us, we played them. We played the clips. They openly say how great it is. Don't you worry about accounting for any of these billions going to Ukraine. It's all coming back here. It's part of the money laundering operation. So they're saying, oh, this may cause some lawmakers to retire. I think he's saying that. He said, that's Tim Burchett, this guy right here. Of course, no one ever goes to jail. He said there will be a lot of retirements. They just get to get fired or retire or voted out of office. No one ever gets in trouble. So work for the government and you could commit unlimited crimes, basically. And the worst they do is fire you with all kinds of stolen loot, blood on your hands. Nobody's above the law except for the government. Latest negative economic data is Biden data, and Trump will fix it. Commerce Chief Lutnick says. That is true, but all the government data, as we continue to report here on Weaponized News, whether it's Biden, Trump, going back to the Reagan administration, actually, the early 80s, it's all manipulated and lies. And again, for your real economic data, a lot more accurate than whatever the hell they're telling you today, go to shadowstats.com. And you can see right here all the different charts. And they show you, let's just pick unemployment today. They show you the real numbers, shadow stat numbers, the official U3 numbers, and the broadest U6 numbers. And so you can see a very large disparity there when you add in all these different variables that they pulled out over time to make the economy look better and the unemployment rate look better. Like, we don't even count those who have given up looking for a job anymore. They're not even they're not even a variable in the equation, and other variables as well. But it's not only unemployment, it's all economic data coming out of government is extremely manipulated and a flat out lie, because government are lying criminal scum. Continuing, Trump unveils giant Alaska. He's trying to kickstart this economy. Trump unveils giant Alaska LNG pipeline plan. Trump has announced a significant push for Alaska LNG project, aiming to construct one of the world's largest natural gas pipelines. This project, expected to involve trillions in investments from countries like Japan, South Korea, is poised to significantly impact Alaska's economy. However, challenges remain, including securing international partnerships and addressing the project's environmental impact and financial viability. So pushing forward with that, suppressing alternative energy. Indeed. Musk, Tesla, is seeing a financial impact on his support of Trump here now and Republicans. Tesla's sales fall 76% in Germany amidst Musk's electioneering. Remember, he gave that talk about AFD over there in Germany, and you can see the falling Tesla sales here now. And so just showing you how fake it all is. These people don't give a damn about the environment with their battery-powered cars. It's all political. It's the virtue signal. You're a good person when you thought Trump was supporting your or Musk was supporting your politics. You were a good person, shamed everybody that didn't run out and buy a battery car. But now that you don't agree with them politically, it's not so virtuous anymore. Now you're stuck with your battery-powered car with a lithium-ion battery. That could burst into flames, actually, if it gets too hot, as we've documented here. So it just shows you how fake all of these people are. They don't give a damn about the environment. It's all political virtue signaling clown world. Continuing, the employment numbers, private employers added just 77,000 jobs in February, far below expectations. ADP, the payroll company, said. And again, these numbers are a lie, but that's what they report. And that's what the large majority of the public believes. Vastly understated unemployment numbers. Private companies added just 77,000 new workers for the month of February, well off the upwardly revised 186,000 jobs added in January, and below the estimate of 148,000 reported ADP. But the sad thing about these numbers is people are using this economic data to make financial decisions, and it's all based on bullshit. Weekly, but hey, some good news, maybe. If you want to go into debt, I don't know. People need a roof over their head. Weekly mortgage demand surges 20% higher after interest rates dropped to the lowest since last year. The average contract interest rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage with conforming loan balances, $806,500 or less dollars, decreased to 6.73% from 6.88%. The total mortgage application value jumped 20.4% last week. It's still a high-ass interest rate right there. Yeah, we can get lower rates than that. Okay, continuing. Trump grants automakers 1 month exemption from tariffs. He's trying to drive manufacturing back to America. White House has granted a 1 month delay for tariffs on automakers whose cars comply with USMCA, which was negotiated during Trump's first term. Automakers have urged Trump to waive 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada made vehicles. It's all part of the negotiations here. We may have to get into the egg smuggling business. Eggs are so expensive, Americans are smuggling them in from Mexico. Prices have skyrocketed following the worst outbreak of bird flu in decades. It wasn't the bird flu, it was the culling of the birds diagnosed with the PCR test. As we continue to report how people don't have a brain still to figure out what's going on here. It's beyond me. Do what the health department tells you and lose a bunch of money and pay exorbitant prices for eggs and wear a mask and run around and act like an idiot. And that's what America loves. Congress reintroduces PRO Act to enhance workers' rights. And so they do care about your workers. They care about your rights. Congress has reintroduced the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, PRO Act, with bipartisan support. The PRO Act aims to strengthen workers' rights by improving collective bargaining, ensuring fair union elections, and holding employers accountable for violations of labor laws. It's already on the books. It's a lot to do about nothing. Bernie Sanders, Mark Kelly, and Hakeem Jeffries are key political figures pushing the PRO Act. We don't have enough labor laws on the books already. It's just all so fake. And all these unions vote in a block Democrat for fraud because they're part of the money laundering machine. Protecting the Right to Organize Act. Maybe, I guess they need it where Starbucks or Amazon, maybe they do need it. I don't know. I guess labor does need it. Can we have honest labor unions? God forbid. God forbid we have honest labor unions that aren't part of a money laundering scheme. The tariffs. Ontario canceled Starlink contract. They were threatening that yesterday. Premier Doug Ford has canceled a $100 million contract with Elon Musk's Starlink in response to U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. I'm going to get a Canadian flag and burn it, Barry. What do you think about that? In protest of Doug Ford's actions here. Not really, but can't even afford a Canadian flag because of the tariffs, right? And they're all made in China anyway, all these flags. Trudeau supports anthem booing amidst tariff tensions. So let's just clip from Trudeau. I thought he retired. Why can't you get rid of this guy, Barry? Remember, it was like 2-3 months ago, it was announced that he was resigning. Yet here he is. Can't get rid of this freaking bastard child of Castro.
And yeah, we're probably going to keep booing the American anthem.
That hurts, Trudeau. It really does. Trump versus Trudeau. Tariffs and fentanyl in the spotlight. Trump and Trudeau discussed tariffs and the issue of fentanyl crossing the borders during a phone call today. Does that much fentanyl come up? Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't think that much comes from Canada, does it? They're talking about this one story. They have busts here and there. I think a lot more comes from Mexico. But here's what old Trump had to say about it. His call with Trudeau today. Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. I told him that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the borders of Canada and Mexico. I think a lot more comes from Mexico, but continuing, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. He said that it's gotten better, but I said that's not good enough. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which made me curious, like, what's going on here? I then realized he is trying to use this issue to stay in power. Good luck, Justin. I know Barry's voting for him, so. Barry says, I'm trying, man. I know his brother, too. So, oh, well, there you go. Maybe it's working for to pump up America's economy, these tariffs. Honda's Civic Hybrid moves to Indiana over tariff threats. Honda reportedly plans to produce its next generation Honda Civic Hybrid in Indiana rather than Mexico to circumvent potential U.S. tariffs. That's the whole idea. This move, while not involving the construction of a new plant, would maintain or increase production at Honda's existing Indiana auto plant. Although President Trump mentioned this shift during his address last night, Honda has not officially confirmed this decision, emphasizing their current flexibility in production locations based on market conditions. Trump proposes tax deduction for U.S.-made car loans. How about abolish the individual income tax? So this, during last night's, play this short clip. Tax deduction for interest on U.S.-made car loans.
I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
abolish the individual income tax. They don't, because they use it as you can see, they use the tax code to manipulate us. And they love stealing from us just in general. But throw that carrot out there. Oh, yeah. It is a good economic incentive to buy American, but they could find other incentives as well. Trump establishes White House Office of Shipbuilding. Trump has announced the creation of a new White House Office of Shipbuilding aimed at revitalizing the U.S. shipbuilding industry. This move is intended to boost both commercial and military production, providing tax incentives to bring more shipbuilding back to America. The incentive responds to the long-standing decline of the U.S. in global shipbuilding, especially in light of China's dominance in the sector. Some saber rattling we'll get to between America and China today. And so here's the order right here. Here's their the new office. I guess I'll go follow them to keep up on shipbuilding. Shipbuilders USA. So we're going to have to follow that. Continuing, Trump's energy emergency and deregulation drive. Trump has outlined a policy aimed at combating inflation through energy dominance, declaring a national emergency to reverse the previous administration's environmental policies. This includes reopening closed power plants, accelerating a major natural gas pipeline project in Alaska, as mentioned earlier, with international investment, and significantly reducing regulations by ordering 10 old regulations eliminated for each new one implemented. His approach emphasizes reducing energy costs and boosting the U.S. economy by expanding domestic energy production. Maybe they could release alternative energy. No, but the Rockefeller Oil Syndicate is not going to allow that to happen, are they? So we're stuck with, well, I guess it's better than the Green New Scam, but still, there's a lot of technology there for clean, renewable energy sitting on the shelf, not allowed into the marketplace. And we have to always keep that in the back of our mind. What the hell's really going on here? Belarus explores cryptocurrency mining opportunity. And so Belarus President Lukashenko has publicly supported the idea of initiating cryptocurrency mining within the country. Let's watch this short clip of Lukashenko from Belarus. And they made him into a cartoon here for some reason.
Надо отвечать на запросы людей, нам надо это сделать. Это будущее. Ну и потом посмотрите по этому майнингу. Все больше людей ко мне обращаются. Если нам это выгодно, давайте будем делать. У нас избыток электричества есть. Пускай делают они эти криптовалюту и так далее. Так правильно я говорю? Тем более вы видите, каким путем мир идет, и особенно крупнейшая экономика мира. Они вчера объявили, что в резерве они будут держать, поэтому спрос на них будет. Ну, может быть, нам самим это делать. Что ж мы привлекаем каких-то инвесторов, продаем им электроэнергию, хотя я не исключаю это. Ну, надо самим делать. Предложения такие есть. Думаю, что вы перешагнете эту бюрократию и доложите, что будем делать. Что касается...
So they have excess energy. There's reporting they need to get on board with the Green New Scam and stop it immediately. UK, oh, this is the one right here. Whitey bad in the UK. UK sentencing debate. Equality under law in question. The UK Parliament has recently debated new sentencing guidelines that some MPs claim could result in custodial sentences being less likely for ethnic, cultural, or faith minorities. So today, it becomes law that Muslims and minorities are to be given lesser sentences than white British people. You couldn't make this up if you tried. Well, you're bad for being white. I mean, I thought that was understood. Let's watch a short clip from UK Parliament.
Speaker, I don't pretend that cutting the court backlog is easy, although it will be quick. But the Secretary of State owes the country a plan and a timetable for when the backlog is actually going to fall. This morning, she was repeatedly asked, but refused to give an answer. So can she tell the country now? When will the court backlog begin to fall? By what date does her department forecast it falling? And why will she not take up the 2,500 additional sitting days offered time and time again by the Lady Chief Justice? And lastly, turning to the new sentencing guidelines that's been published alongside this statement, which will make a custodial sentence less likely for, and I quote, ethnic minorities, cultural minorities, and faith minority communities. Why is the Justice Secretary enshrining this double standard, this two-tier approach to sentencing? This is an inversion of the rule of law. We on this side of the House believe in equality under the law. Why doesn't she?
That guy should be arrested for being white in Britain right there. Should escort him out like they did Al Green. What do they say? Yeah, Lukashenko's a dictator there in Belarus. It's tyranny for sure. 100%. Not a good guy. PM Stalmer, as we continue to see, being a maniac, the Fabian socialist that he is, UK Prime Minister Stalmer attended a Ramadan iftar event at Westminster Hall. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
You see Muslims making a difference, helping to deliver every single one of the government's missions. In business, helping to grow our economy. In education, giving our young people the opportunities that they deserve. In our NHS, of course. In charity work. British Muslims are amongst the most generous group in the United Kingdom and beyond. So I must say thank you to you for all of that, and particularly what I know has been a very difficult time for Muslims here in the United Kingdom, with the pain of the conflict in Gaza and the suffering of the Palestinians. I've been profoundly moved by the images of thousands of Palestinians returning to their communities.
Trump unveils Golden Dome missile defense initiative. Do we really need this? Talk about a windfall for the military-industrial complex. Let's watch this. The Golden Dome.
First step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Don't complain about it. The money's coming back home. Or I guess it'll stay here as we fund the military-industrial complex. U.S. military recruitment soars to 15-year high. Wow. You can sign up and be cannon fodder and jump on the Trump train. $15-year high for these guys, and go die for these guys and their medals. They won't be getting shot at, but the poor will go die in their wars. Make no mistake about it. That's why we're consistently anti-war here. Okay, the big saber rattling between China and U.S. Chinese embassy in America, in U.S., they posted on the old X. They said, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight it to the end. Let's watch this clip and respond, or this section of response about that from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Major saber rattling going on right now.
Gears. As the speech wrapped up last night, this was posted by the Chinese embassy. Quote, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. As Secretary of Defense, how do you take that?
Well, we're prepared. Those who long for peace must prepare for war. That's why we're rebuilding our military. That's why we're reestablishing deterrence and the warrior ethos, is because we live in a dangerous world with powerful ascendant countries with very different ideologies. You mentioned defense spending. They're rapidly increasing their defense spending. Modern technology. They want to supplant the United States. If we want to deter war with the Chinese or others, we have to be strong. And that president understands peace comes through strength. He also has a great relationship with that gentleman right there, too, Xi Jinping. So where we can partner, where we can cooperate to recognize that we don't want war with China, we don't seek that war, we will. And the president has sought historic peace and historic opportunities. But my job as the Secretary of Defense is to make sure we're ready. We need the defense spending, the capabilities, the weapons, and the posture in the Indo-Pacific, which is something we're very much focusing on.
China as...
Continuing here. China says it is ready for war with America. A little bit of saber rattling going on there. Germany hits weapon supply limit to Ukraine. Germany has announced that it has reached the limit of its capacity to supply weapons to Ukraine from its current stockpiles. This decision follows the U.S. in adjusting its policy on military aid to Ukraine amid ongoing conflicts in the war. In the war, Germany's defense ministry emphasized that this isn't a withdrawal of support, but a reflection on their depleted reserves, promoting discussions on rearmament and the strategic reassessment of Europe's defense capabilities. Spend more money, give more money to the military industrial complex. Obviously, that's the solution here. Here's Macron out of France, Rothschild banker. Macron says peace can return to Europe with a pacified Russia. I thought Europe was at peace except for the self-inflicted invasion by foreigners, by Muslims and others. Ukraine was never even part of Europe. Geography's hard.
Peace will return to our continent with a pacified Russia. But we have to look at the situation before us. To remain a spectator in this dangerous world would be crazy. We need, without any further ado, to take steps to guarantee the security of France, Europe, and Ukraine.
Zelenskyy shifts stance. Yesterday, it was reported that he was going to go ahead and sign the mineral deal and negotiate peace. Today, it's being reported that Ukrainian president, who hasn't had an election in a year, has announced a refusal to negotiate with Russia, signaling a continuation of the ongoing conflict without concessions. This statement follows earlier indications of openness to dialogue highlighting a shift in Ukraine's diplomatic approach to the war. Let's play the clip from him.
Нам відомо, що росіяни не змінили своїх позицій та вимог щодо України. Вони будуть вимагати скорочення нашої армії, будуть хотіти юридичну відмову від наших територій, також суттєвої політичної деформації України з послабленням української Конституції. І скажу, що насправді, поки ми всі в Україні будемо стояти разом і міцно, поки ми тут, ні в кого це не вийде. Мир буде достойним.
Slava Ukraine, they love it. Trump officials say U.S. paused intelligence sharing with Ukraine, but signal it may not last long after a fiery meeting with U.S. intelligence. With the CIA director, statements from National Security Advisor Mike Walls and CIA Director John Ratcliffe this morning indicate that a pause in intelligence sharing is in place, but the extent of the limitations is not clear. Here's Simon from Weaponized News on George Galloway. And as I said before, Simon, let's pray for Simon. He is in bad health. And he told me his goal is to make 100 appearances on Galloway. I think this is his 86th. This is the 86th appearance on Galloway. He said he's going to try to make 100, and then you'll probably never hear from him again. So let's hear from Simon on George Galloway today.
Got to go to Florida, where Simon from Weaponized News, one of our great legends of the mother of all talk shows, wants to talk about last night's Trump speech. Go ahead, Simon.
Greetings to you, Mr. Galloway, and to your worldwide audience. Well, if I may slightly deflect, since that issue has been somewhat covered by your previous guest, we have big news from Ursula von der Leyen, who's proposing that the European Union collectively spend 800 billion euros over the next 4 years in her program called Rearm Europe. Her goal is for every country in Europe to increase their defense spending by 1.5% of gross domestic product, and then borrow an additional 150 billion euros from the European Investment Bank, possibly take some of it from the Green Fund, which obviously is very appropriate since the tanks will be painted green. And meanwhile, we have Friedrich Merz, who's now negotiating a possible delay to the start of the new parliament in order that with the outgoing members of the Social Party of Germany, led by the previous Chancellor Scholz, ram through an amendment to the German constitution, which in theory can't be done in the available time, in order that they can blow out their budget, disregard blowing out the budget, create two special funds, and spend 920 billion euros just in Germany, just on defense and infrastructure. I salute your campaign on, or rather against, conscription, and I would like to point out to all who are concerned about that conscription was passed in Britain at the second go-around in World War II in 1 day. When war was declared in September the 3rd, they jammed through conscription in the House of Commons and House of Lords, and it was signed by the King in less than 12 hours. It was originally for age 18 to 40. That was extended in 1942 to age 51, and extended to women, if they think that they're going to dodge out, for age 20 through 30. So if people think they can suddenly get on a plane to America, they may be sorely disappointed when we find the airports are all suddenly closed within that 12-hour window. So my final point would be just drawing people's attention to the fact that we're midway through this now comment period for the House of Lords International Agreements Committee. They had a secret meeting yesterday and are going to be holding more meetings on the 11th and 12th of March. Bear in mind that we have the European Union Council meeting tomorrow, where they'll be discussing von der Leyen's plan. And there's a suggestion that because they're concerned about Hungary vetoing it, they're going to remove the Hungarian voting rights under the argument of Russian interference and Hungarian rule of law issues that they've been complaining about for some years now. So in order to avoid the foreign affairs veto, they're literally going to disenfranchise not only possibly Hungary, but also Slovakia. So you'll be pleased to hear that the British establishment are completely tucking up the House of Lords inquiry. We have long-time Ukrainian supporter Stephen Doughty, who's taking a break from all of his LGBTQ activities in Wales to support the giving of billions of pounds and the sending of thousands of British troops to Ukraine, alongside a professor who lectures at King's College University on strategic communication. So you can be sure that he'll stay on message, but he's having to take a break from working for the British Ministry of Defence and GCHQ. So I'm sure he'll give us some really independent advice to the House of Lords. He's going to be joined by Hannah Hopka, who was described as a civic leader in Ukraine during the Maidan coup, and is also going to be giving us excellent, expert, independent advice, taking a break from leading the International Center for Ukrainian Victory. And then they'll finally be joined by Simon Smith, who was previously famous as the British ambassador to Ukraine during the Maidan coup and worked alongside Victoria Nuland. So we can be absolutely certain that that 100-year treaty will get the most appropriate scrutiny. And then people, if you're your more erudite members of the audience, if they're seeing these great machinations and these tectonic plates moving, as the Chinese have reiterated during their NPC and CPPCC big annual conferences that are currently underway in Beijing, where they've said that they want 5% growth for the next year, not like Britain is experiencing 0.1% growth, then
0.1,
might like
Don't forget the 0.1.
They might like, they might, our audience, your audience, might like to look at the rhyme by Rudyard Kipling called The Three Sealers. And it's about the Americans and the Europeans trying to steal resources from the eastern coast of Russia at the turn of the previous century, and how they all ended up fighting amongst themselves when they ran around scared at what they thought was a Russian Coast Guard ship, but was actually a mirage in the mist. But they fired upon each other and ended up with nothing and killing each other.
What a wonderful story. I definitely will look that up, Simon. Thanks for that tremendous tour of the horizon there. So the polls closed. 33,725 people voted, and only 4% on Telegram, only 8% on X, only 6% on the YouTube community poll, and only 7% on the YouTube stream.
I don't know why they're not supporting conscription in the UK to go fight in Ukraine. Quite horrific. They're unpatriotic. Barry says he thinks he has no choice, but so we've corrupted Barry. He's going to run for crime minister and be part of the money laundering. I asked myself that question. Am I a sucker? I feel like it. Am I a sucker for trying to, be honest and not just be a total thief? Why don't I just go work for government, steal from everybody, and live the high life? Because they're the only ones living the high life. And so are we all suckers if we don't work for government and just be criminals and just say we're from the government and laugh in everybody's face? That's what they do. All governments. So are we suckers to have any morality whatsoever? It's a question we shall ask. We appreciate Simon's appearance there on George Galloway Moat's program, as he's on appearance 86. And after this appearance, he posted this. And so this is the free speech that we're experiencing here in America on Mr. Musk's X program. Simon said, straight after my 86th appearance on Moats with George Galloway, get listed by X as inauthentic account behavior again. And so he got this message after that appearance. Yeah, he got this message being on Weaponized News too. And I stopped tagging him for a while. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know if it even makes a difference, but I was like, wait a minute, I'll stop tagging you. And maybe they won't throttle my account and shadow ban me. It don't matter. You're throttled and shadow ban. Freedom of speech, not freedom of reach. But we do thank Simon for his efforts there to inform the public. Let's pray for Simon again with his chronic health condition. Continuing here, last section of the show, as we're approaching the 2-hour mark. Last section of the show, we always leave the aardvarks for last, as Q said. Leave aardvarks for last. So we leave them for last. There was, and I don't think this helps the cause, honestly. Protest at Barnard College in New York City at the library. And well, let's show the video. They want to rename it the Dr. Hassam Abu Safia Liberated Zone. This action disrupted access for some students attempting to study. Trump has reacted by stating that universities allowing illegal protests will lose federal funding, which sparked a debate on campus free speech rights. Let's watch this short video of the protest. I think this actually undermines their efforts. And these are, well, let's watch the video. And so it's good to be anti-war protesting, but my concern here is these are current thing leftists, and I would assume, I don't know, but I would assume they fully support the Ukraine. And again, we should be against all of these wars. And so honestly, I think this is hurting their cause more than helping it. Continuing. Trump demands leadership change in Gaza. And so it's being reported that the U.S., through back channels, I don't know, front channels now, Aardvark Post tells us U.S. holding secret talks with Hamas on release of Gazan hostages. The message to Hamas: show goodwill to enable discussions about the second phase as well. And again, who is Hamas? Look like Western intelligence to me. So you see there, Aardvark Post giving us that report. The Trump administration has engaged in direct talks with Hamas. Why is it even our business? I guess they're dual citizen hostages. So they still have some U.S. citizen hostages. The negotiations are being handled by U.S. Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs, Adam Boehler, with a focus on American Israeli captives. There are 59 hostages being held in Gaza. Why do we allow dual citizens from any country? Where does their allegiance lie? I wonder. Where were they at when they got abducted to be kidnapped? And I'm just not trusting Hamas as being legitimate freedom fighters at this point. Continuing. Here's a message from Trump to Hamas. Shalom Hamas means hello and goodbye. You can choose, release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murder, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I am sending Aardvark land, everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also, the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Not a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Signed by Donald J. Trump, President of America. And do we have the meeting? I thought I had video. Did I have video? Oh, here's the dual citizens meeting Trump at the White House. Aardvark, American citizens. Let's watch this short clip of the rescued hostages, or the released hostages.
My family and I, myself, we believe you've been sent by God to release them. You can really help. You have the power to do it.
You were our hope when we were there, and now you're their hope.
Yeah.
So you didn't think until I came along, you didn't think you were going to get out?
No. Once you were elected, we heard that you want to do everything to make a deal as soon as possible. And
you're so happy.
Yeah. Well, we said you better let us have those people back.
Yeah.
You
better let them out. We did say that, and something happened, right?
Yeah.
Now we got to get the rest out.
Please do it again.
Yes. Thank you all. We're working on it very hard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. You take care. We'll do the best we can.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. You take care of yourself. Horrible stories. Not even believable.
Thank you.
We'll get them out. We'll get them out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You take care of yourself. Okay. Thank you.
Religious fanatics, they say Trump was, they believe Trump was sent by God. But again, the question is, which God? Better wants to go ahead and ship them all to Britain. So, yeah, you guys should take all those refugees. Britain's over for white people anyway. So you might as well take all the muzzies, right? Okay, here's White House Press Secretary Leavitt confirming during the daily briefing today that the U.S. has had direct talks with Hamas. Again, UK, Aardvark, US-backed intelligence.
Caroline, if the U.S. has a longstanding policy that we do not negotiate with terrorists, then why is the U.S. now negotiating directly and for the first time ever with Hamas?
Well, when it comes to the negotiations that you're referring to, first of all, the special envoy who's engaged in those negotiations does have the authority to talk to anyone. Israel was consulted on this matter. And look, dialogue and talking to people around the world to do what's in the best interest of the American people is something that the president has proven is what he believes is good faith effort to do what's right for the American people.
Is it just about the hostages, or are they also talking about the president's plan to take over Gaza?
These are ongoing talks and discussions. I am not going to detail them here. There are American lives at stake. I would defer you to the Department of State for further details, but I'm not going to get into them.
Sorry about the low volume on that. Yeah, I can't wait for the movie either, Young. It's going to be pretty propaganda-ish. Evangelicals to aardvarks. Annex Judea and Samaria now. Visiting Christian leaders make a bold call for aardvarks to assert full control over its historical land. And so these religious fanatical maniacs. Here we go. From Aardvark News Syndicate. Faith leaders came for the Aardvark lunch of conferences of Christian presidents, a new umbrella group representing tens of millions of pro-Aardvark Americans. Truly sick. They're praying for the end of the world. They're praying for to kick off the Armageddon there in Aardvark land, the Battle of Gog and Magog, to build the third temple on the grounds of the Alaska Mosque. And these religious fanatics just may. They're praying for it hard. They're praying for it hard to bring about the Armageddon. They want the end of the world. These people are, they're dangerous, to say the least. U.S. aardvarks reject Gaza reconstruction plan backed by Arab nations that we covered yesterday. And so we covered that yesterday. The Arab nations at the Arab Summit, they said they're going to put in, what, 60-something billion? I forget the exact number, but a lot of money, they said. But they will not be relocating the Gazans. And, of course, aardvarks and America said no. Leaders from 22 Arab nations attended the summit in Cairo yesterday and unanimously adopted the Egyptian proposal, which does not foresee any Gazan residents being forced to leave during reconstruction. Trump administration, along with his close allies in Aardvark land, quickly rejected the plan, with the White House reiterating the president's contention that the destruction wrought on Gaza during Aardvark's 15-month war with Hamas has made the enclave uninhabitable. Aardvarks in America reject Arab Gaza plan. And I hear this talking point. They say, well, they're so bad. They're such horrible terrorists, the Palestinians, that no other Arab country will take them because they're terrorists and they're disgusting animals, right? But these other Arab countries know as soon as you take them, then they're going to say Hamas is hiding underneath their the Sharif, and we got to go ahead and bomb the hell out of you too, as part of the greater Aardvark land project. And these Arab countries are well aware of that. Aardvark settlers' pressure on West Bank villagers stirs annexation fears. They are annexing it. Yeah, Aardvark army has been bulldozing a dirt road and a ditch between the communities and open grazing land on the hills behind it. In Bradala, just meters from houses in Bradala, a Palestinian village in the northern end of occupied West Bank. Yeah, they are. They're going to annex it. Yeah, it just goes through here, sparking concern. Aardvark pro-settler politicians have been emboldened by the return to the White House of Trump, who has proposed Palestinians leave Gaza or be killed, essentially. Ethnic cleansing. So, and then we say settlers, and these guys just remind me of like some crazy anarchist vigilantes, like the bad kind, that are literally, they literally go in with weapons and threaten violence or do violence against these Palestinians and kick them out of their homes and out of their land and steal their property. But hey, they're the good guys. Aardvark's good, and whites in UK bad. All right. As long as we got all that straight. When Trump and Bibi have a formal covenant, the 7-year tribulation begins, coming soon. Maybe. They want that. They want that. For sure, these evangelical Christian Zionists, that's 100% what they want. Freaking maniacs. And I think that's, do we have more Aardvark news? There was quite a bit today. Or maybe that's it. Oh no, we still have a little bit more. U.S. sanctions Houthi leaders. They declared them, the State Department declared the Houthis a terrorist organization yesterday to allow for more indiscriminate bombing. I don't know how there could be more indiscriminate bombing, but there certainly will be with them declared an official foreign terrorist organization. Today, it was announced by the State Department that sanctions will be imposed on 7 high-ranking members of the Ansarallah movement, known as the Houthis, for their roles in weapon smuggling, procurement from international sources, including Russia, and recruiting fighters for conflicts abroad. These actions follow the redesignation of the Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization by the U.S. government, aimed at curbing their destabilizing activities in Yemen and the broader region. And as we continue to report here, U.S. intelligence and Western intelligence, Aardvark, UK, U.S., are in Yemen trying to stir up a civil war. But hey, keep the USAID funds flowing, please. So that's going on. What else do we got? I think we're almost done here. Oh, I found this story amusing in Aardvark Post. IDF social media ban is way overdue. You think? They're telling them, hey, you guys are posting your war crimes all over the interwebs, especially Telegram, and they're actually using that, pulling it up at the International Criminal Court and saying, look, here's all the evidence you need. They're posting it themselves. And so the IDF has finally come to the conclusion that they needed a new social media policy to not be posting their war crimes on the interwebs. See if these maniacs can comply with it. I have my doubts that they will be able to comply with it. They just seem compelled to post their war crimes on the interwebs as their great aardvark heroes. The investigation, did we need an investigation? It's been ongoing. They say Hamas did not need spies or sophisticated cyber capabilities. Yeah, they were posting their locations, posting all this stuff on the interwebs, bragging about it, laughing. There's video after video after, a million videos. Photos taken by IDF soldiers on their first and last days in the roles granted Hamas significant knowledge of the base. Yeah, and it gave the International Criminal Court a bunch of evidence of war crimes, and you're giving your alleged opponent there, Hamas, inside intel. And so IDF will impose a strict ban on social media. It only took them a year and a half to figure this out. You've got to be kidding me. I think that's all we got. Do we got anything else? Syrian president, moderate jihadist Ahmed al-Sahara condemns the ongoing aardvark incursion in southern Syria. They're in Syria, Lebanon, West Bank, Gaza. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Terrorists everywhere, man. Funded, trained, armed, radicalized by Western intelligence. All of these terrorists. It's all so tiring now, isn't it? But hey, they keep on killing people. So let's have peace. Let's have peace. Let's pray for Simon. Let's pray for the Pope on this Ash Wednesday. Let's pray for peace in Ukraine, Russia war, in Aardvark, Gaza war, the whole region actually now. Syria basically has a civil war going on, somewhat civil war going on. And all of these other conflict zones stop killing people. I know, God forbid that we would advocate such a thing, but let's stop killing people. As the bankers in the military-industrial complex profiteer and fulfill their depopulation agenda with all of this senseless killing. So let's pray for peace. Let me go to the channels now before we close out, and we're going to play a short closeout today. Scott Armstrong, who we had on Monday from Rebunk News, from his album Universal Basic Awesome. We're going to play one of his songs to close out as we are trying to promote like-minded media people. Let's go to Odyssey. Who do we have on Odyssey today? Shout out to Odyssey. We have Bob Huffman and Barry in the chat chatting it up. Bamzol. What do we got there? It's a scumbag English plan for hybrid warfare against Russia. Yeah. What does he say? If it's uninhabitable, why are they selling it already in Brooklyn synagogues? I don't know. They wouldn't do that, would they? Oh, but they would, and they are. Thank you, Huffman. And everybody else for tuning in on the Odyssey. Over to the Rumble. Quite a chat going on in the Rumble. Thank you guys for chatting it up, keeping that going. Quite a discussion there. Barry, Ruckus, Gunther, Karen. I saw other people pointing that out today. Doge backwards is EGOD. And so that people are picking up on that. Thank you for that comment yesterday, Karen. I didn't even think of it, but indeed, Doge backwards is EGOD. And there's all this other weird stuff. We might have to do a deep dive into Doge, but it goes deep. It goes deep. Chloe there. Shout out to Chloe. Who else have we got there? Denver on the Rumble. We need Greenland to be our nuke buffer zone. Hey, maybe. Does Greenland get the Golden Dome? They should say, hey, if you want us to be the 50 whatever state, then we need Golden Dome protection, Trump. And of course, it won't work and it's all fake, but who cares? Chloe, he can shove his cane you know where. Wow, that's at the beginning. Bring back political duels and they can have it out like men, or it's just all fake theater. Because if you're real in your protests, and it wasn't just all fake made up theater, they would go out and handle it like they used to back in the day with political duels. Carrie, shout out to Carrie. Thank you for tuning in there, Carrie. Lies That Bind. I like that name, Lies That Bind. That's a good one. Shout out to Lies That Bind. Wow, quite a chat over there. Thank you guys. Quite a chat on the Rumble. If anybody's on the other channels and you're looking for a good chat, the Rumble has it going on there. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Rumble. The Rockfin, it gets ruckus on the Rockfin too. Ruckus, it gets wild over there. Barry, Sean, Denver, Trav, Octo's in there stirring it up. Octo's a big pro-Muslim guy. I think he's actually representing the Nation of Islam. Just joking, Octo. I see your comments there. And that we welcome it. I am free speech. I want to hear all sides and everybody in between about all of these very contentious issues of the day. And you do keep the chat lively. I don't support the aardvark's position, or for that matter, the United States position on this whole thing, especially the Christian Zionists. These people make me want to throw up, honestly. I probably dislike out of all of them the Christian Zionists more than, yeah, I do. I dislike the Christian Zionists more than any of them in this whole giant, just garbage, man. War, genocide. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Rockfin. Appreciate it. The BitChute, I don't know what's up with BitChute. I'm going to try. You can mute it in the browser, but then I swear it still unmutes. There are people on the BitChute. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, no chat ever in the BitChute. I don't know. BitChute is chat averse for some reason. But thank you guys for tuning in on the BitChute. Thank you for tuning in on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Quite a lively chat on the YouTube as well. Yeah, honestly, I detest the Christian Zionists more than even the aardvarks. I don't even know what else to say. Thank you guys for keeping the chat on the YouTube lively. As always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and liberty. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. We'll be back here tomorrow on Weaponized News. And here again is Scott Armstrong from his album Universal Basic Awesome from Faithless Town. It's official music video. This guy put in a lot of work in this stuff, and we need to support independent artists like Scott Armstrong. And he said he's not going to copyright tag me here. And so this is Universal Basic Awesome featuring Gene Owens from Faithless Town. Official music video from Scott Armstrong. And I asked him first, so don't copyright me, bro. And he said, yes, he would very much appreciate if I played out with his music. And so thank you, Scott Armstrong, for producing this. And here we go. It's a short one. It's like 3 minutes.